Did you know that CES was apparently last week? Kinda weird. One of my favorite booths to visit at CES is always Razer. We got a guided tour when we attended in person in 2019, and they always have pretty cool projects like Project Valerie, which was this crazy self-contained triple monitor laptop. This year was no different. Razer showed off Project Brooklyn, which is this insane concept gaming chair with a crazy wraparound monitor. Thing looks like something out of a Star Trek holodeck. Anyhow, while Razer doesn't always bring some of these more creative projects to fruition, at CES 2021, Razer showed off something much more practical, Project Hazel. Project Hazel is a face mask, but extra gamery. All kidding aside, Hazel actually seems quite practical. It's an N95 face mask that has a transparent window so people can actually see your face. It has active ventilation and filtration, a voice amplifier, and of course, RGB. Because it wouldn't be any Razer product without it, really. Needless to say, Hazel's development and design was a product of the ongoing pandemic. Fun fact, Razer in the past year has shifted a lot of their production to making face masks, and at the time of writing has donated over 1 million masks. But as cool as Hazel seems, we're arriving at the issue of price. On one hand, Razer might feel generous and aim the price to mask around just above manufacturing cost. On the other hand, the Razer tax is definitely a thing, and this could be pricey due to all the tech packed into it. We'll just have to wait and see though, as Razer has been silent about the pricing and date of availability. And next up, of course China's in the news this week. A lot of high-end electronic manufacturing happens in Taiwan, and by extension, inexplicably tied to China. While the assembly might happen in Taiwan or another Southeast Asian country, most if not all the raw materials for said manufacturing has been sourced from China. Take for example rare earth, which is what this story is about. China sits on approximately 36 million tons, or about 30% of the world's total reserves of rare earth. Obviously, this means a significant portion of material is under the control of the Chinese Communist Party. Rare earth is a set of minerals that are used heavily in the production of electronics, as well as green technologies such as wind turbines and hybrid batteries. This material is no doubt crucial to keeping the electronic supply line going, which is why it's scary when China begins to regulate and clamp down on the supply chain, which seems to be just what they're doing. The CCP announced that it would be strengthening its regulations on all aspects of rare earth mining, from the actual mining itself, all to the end product export. This enables the CCP to basically conduct a form of economic warfare, whereby the CCP can pick winners, so to speak. Does your company have a good relation with the Communist Party? Here are your materials. Does your company despise the CCP? Source your rare earth elsewhere. Hell, with these new rules, China could decide that only Chinese manufacturers could get access to these Chinese mined rare earth. The move is no doubt a ploy from China to gain more leverage in the global electronics industry. The proposed regulations are still in draft phase, but if they go through, the US and other powers less friendly to China like Australia and Japan will no doubt accelerate their decoupling from China. The consequences of this are varied, but to stick with the channel's theme, what it could mean is a decrease in the already limited supply of computer hardware in the short term, and an overall price increase in said components in the long term. Next, Team Blue is in the news, which if you remember our previous Pass the Salt video, the Crimson Tide was rolling hard. This segment is twofold. For starters, Intel CEO Bob Swan is stepping down and is to be replaced by company veteran and current CEO of OpenVM, Pat Gelsinger. Gelsinger has a long history with the company and is the engineer responsible for Intel's big innovation in x86 processors, as he was the lead architect for the gloried 80486 processors in 1989. After making his way to CTO of Intel, Gelsinger started the Intel Developer Forum as a direct competitor to Microsoft's Windows HEC Forum. Gelsinger eventually left Intel, but now obviously is returning as CEO, as he will take office in mid-February. Many people in the tech space are overjoyed that Intel is going to have an engineer at the helm, as opposed to a CEO with a background in business. Having an engineer as CEO seems to be the best move for tech companies, as I would cite the success of AMD, Nvidia, and SK Hynix. It is important to note, however, that a change won't happen overnight. It will take several years for Pat Gelsinger to have any measurable impact at Intel, if any. So judgment should be reserved. The second part of the story with regards to Intel's decision to outsource chip products to third-party fabs. Currently, CEO Bob Swan walked back the previously announced decision to stop using Intel fabs for production and transition to third-party manufacturing. This sent speculation running wild that Intel and TSMC were penning up a $28 billion contract deal. But that decision might not end up going through, as Swan has announced that the ultimate decision will now be left to Gelsinger once he takes the position of CEO. The decision to outsource could prove to be something that benefits Intel in the long run. Partnering with TSMC might be the only way Intel could reach competitive die shrinkage and begin to catch up with AMD in any sort of reasonable time frame. However, outsourcing comes with its own set of issues. Intel would be able to control less of its supply chain, and furthermore, the third-party overhead could lead to a net increase in costs, despite Intel no longer baking the cost of operating their fabs. As for how Gelsinger is leaning in this decision, if I had to speculate, I would say that he might ultimately make the decision not to outsource the chip production. During a meeting where both Swan and Gelsinger were present, Gelsinger stated, quote, "We have to deliver better products to the PC ecosystem than any possible thing that a lifestyle company in Cupertino makes." This statement was a direct jab and reference to Apple, who brought their chip production home, so to speak, as their new Macs are powered by Apple's in-house M1 chips. But of course, Gelsinger could also decide that Intel couldn't reasonably catch up with their current production process, therefore outsourcing would be the best option. We'll most likely have to wait until the end of February before any final word about this is said. And finally, our last topic.
Oh no!
Shoji, a Chinese tech company, and its customers were recently the victims of a hack resulting from an unsecured API. What product was hacked, you may ask? A male chastity cage. God damn it, China. Shoji makes a product called the Cellmate and an app-controlled chastity cage that partners can control with an app on their phone. These sort of app-controlled toys are becoming more and more common for couples who are into some kinky shit. But as previously mentioned, the Cellmate's API was unsecured, allowing hackers to gain access to the device and permanently locking it. As the device has no physical emergency unlock, which is a different conversation altogether. If the devices were permanently locked while it was attached to you, the only way to get it off would be to use a power tool like an angle grinder. I don't know about you, but I don't want that anywhere near the area down there. Victims of the hack reported that they were luckily not wearing the Cellmate at the time of the hack, but that they were also greeted with the message, and to quote, "Your cock is now mine." I mean, we don't even make money anyway, so. Furthermore, the hacker demands $750 worth of cryptocurrency to unlock the device, which means that this is a ransomware attack. Jesus. So please, for the love of God, be careful what you attach to yourself that's internet connected. Not everything needs to be internet connected after all. And at this point, is IoT stuff getting kind of ridiculous? Let us know down in the comments below. And with that, that's going to do it for this week's tech-related salt. Make sure to like the video, subscribe for more tech content, and hit up the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter at tech_for_thought. And if video games are more your thing, check out our affiliate, cultureofgaming.com, for all of your latest gaming news, reviews, and opinion pieces. See you next time.